What's up guys, Tyler Casey here. I'm excited to announce that we dropped Whiteout Effects 2. We basically took everything good about the first pack and added onto that. So it has over 240 assets for you to use in your edits. I'm going to show you all the assets today. I'm going to walk you through some tips and tricks on how to get some cool edits using the pack. But the second pack is a standalone pack and you can make all sorts of edits just with the second pack if you like those effects better. So I'm going to hop into Adobe Premiere. This pack does work in DaVinci, which we'll have a tutorial for. And we do have some tutorials for Final Cut and other programs. So if you have trouble finding those, feel free to email us as well. Let's dive into the tutorial. All right, so this is what comes in the pack. It comes in 4 separate folders. It's around 11 or 12 gigabytes. So we broke it up so it's easier to download. So what I would recommend doing is you could just combine all these. So I would just make a new folder. I'll name it Whiteout Effects 2. And then I would go ahead and just drag in all these into that one folder just so we can keep them all combined, just to make it easier when we have edits. So like this alphabet one, I could just cut this and I'm going to paste that into here, and then I can get rid of alphabet number 2. So these are all the assets, and I'm just going to import them into Premiere since it's a little bit easier to see what they look like. If you're on a Mac, you can see, but I still recommend just importing them straight into your editor. And the way you do that is you import them like regular footage. No need to install them in any folders or anything like that. These are overlays, and I'm going to show you how to use them. So I'm just going to drag these into Premiere just like that and let it do its thing. It's importing them, and we're good to go. So here are all the folders. I'm going to organize these by name, and I'm just going to go through. So we have the alphabet, we have uppercase and we have lowercase, and we have 2 different fonts that we included. So we have red paint. So there's an A, and then we have white paint. Boom. So I did that one in whiteout, and then the other one I did in paint. And we have lowercase, and they each have red paint and white paint. So you're good to go. We have numbers and symbols. Let's go over here. Faces are some of my favorites. So we have individual eyes if you just wanted to put eyes on someone, and then we have individual mouths as well as tongues, and then we have scary faces, which are basically the mouth and the eyes. So it's good to go. It's kind of how we drew it. So this is one of my favorites. I drew like scary little teeth right there. Very cool. And all these are transparent, as you can see. So let's move on to markup. So these are pretty cool. These are just markups to kind of put around your image once you do the freeze frame effect. Objects, we have arrows, we have guns, we have scopes, all sorts of stuff. Overlay paper textures. So these are really cool. These were included in the first pack as well. They're really high quality, and you can drag, look how big this is. Yeah, it's pretty high quality, and we could change the blending mode to screen, and boom, you get that gritty texture just like that. We'll dive into that a little bit more. These are title cards. I'm definitely going to make a title for this one. So I kind of made these with the title in mind, so it scratches up, and then we would put the text on that. So I'll show you that as well. I'll make a title for this video. And then I have transitions, which are pretty self-explanatory. We have some like rips and whatnot. These are pretty cool. These are peel backs, and they peel open. And I just have some simple transitions as well if you just want to cover up the screen. Like this one, I scribbled it up. So let's dive into it. The first step I recommend, especially in Premiere, is creating shortcuts. So you want to create a shortcut for nesting, and you want to create a shortcut for freeze frame. I like to set my nesting shortcut to 3. Then I set my frame hold keyframe to number 4. So I just press 3 on my keyboard to nest and 4 on my keyboard to do a frame hold. And you're going to see in this tutorial why that's important, because doing this effect, you're going to be doing a lot of screen holds and some nesting as well. So to change that, pretty much you just want to go up to edit, and you're going to want to go up to edit and keyboard shortcuts. Then right here, you can see I have 3 as nest and 4 is add frame hold. So I would definitely recommend changing those if I were you. It's up to you, but that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to be using on, that's what I'm going to be saying. So every time I say nest, I'm hitting 3. Every time I say frame hold, I'm hitting 4. All right, so let's just get started. Let's just do a little freeze frame on this. Let me see if I can back it up just a little bit. Do we have a little bit? And we'll just stop it right there. And I'm going to hit 4 on my keyboard. So now, boom. We freeze frame just like that. I'm going to grab some texture on here. And we're going to drag that on. Let's see how long we want this. And let's go ahead and let's go over to our faces. Why not? Let's go ahead and grab one of these faces. I think I'm going to go with the first face. That's one of my favorites. And so there's two options. You can either put the effects under the texture so it looks like it's written underneath the paper. It makes it a little grittier so you can see that, or you can go over. It's going to look a little bit more clean. That one's up to you. I think I'm going to go under. I kind of like the way it looks. So we're going to drag everything out just a little bit here. And then I'm going to scale this down. I'm going to line this up. So if the eyes don't line up perfectly, like let's say I did want a really big mouth, I could delete this and I can go over to my mouths. So let's say I want these teeth instead. Like I want these scary teeth, but I like the eyes on that one. That's why I did everything separate. So I'm going to put this scary little mouth on them. Boom. And then I'm going to come up to eyes and let's see what eyes we like. Yeah, let's do those eyes. And I'm going to scale those down. And if they still are a little bit too far apart, we could mask it out. Let's see. Yeah, they might be a little too far apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a quick mask. Then I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'm going to just invert it. And then I can drag that one right there. Easy as that. We have both of the eyes. Just like that. Let's line it up. Boom. Let's go ahead and play that now. Very scary. And we can nest these eyes just like that. So I'm going to hit 3 on the keyboard. Boom. Got the eyes nested just so it's a little bit cleaner. So let's see what else we can add. So I think some markups would look nice just to give this a little bit more texture. This one could work. We'll put some red around the edges. And let's say you wanted to change the color of this. Let's say that's a little bit too much red. We can easily go into color, make sure that's selected. We could play around with the hue if we come under here. And I kind of like the green a little bit. I feel like it goes with the video. So we'll do that. We'll stick with the green. So it's going to mark up. And then we're going to be zooming in right there. So let's see if there's any cool objects we can throw in. I do have this Glock. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll draw that on. Let's see if we could put the Glock in his hand. That should be pretty easy. So we'll come over here. We'll go right there. And you can see it's looking a little bit too textured for me. So I may put the Glock over just so we can see it a little bit better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate him. I'm holding Alt and I'm going to duplicate him. I'm just going to do a quick mask around his hand just so we can get that Glock. I think that will look pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect. But that's tricky because his hand doesn't have the texture on it. So that looks like he's holding the Glock. I can dig it. Let me drag this down a little bit. Boom. That actually looks really good. But the problem is we don't have the texture. So I'm going to duplicate the texture. And I'm going to nest these real quick. Let me copy my mask and then I'm going to duplicate these real quick. And then I can just put my mask, paste my mask back on, and boom, his hand's textured, but we still have our mask. That was a little bit tricky, but we made it work. So we'll go ahead and play this. Boom, we have all these effects looking good. Now what we want to do, so we want to see how long we want it to go. So it probably, I think we can end it where this one ends right here. So I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to make a big cut. I'm going to delete all these tails off. And then now what we want to do is we want to nest all this together. So I'm going to hit 3 on the keyboard with it all selected and boom, we have a nest. So now what we can do is we can start to add our Ken Burns effect. And that's just a fancy term for a zoom. I'm going to keyframe position and scale. And I'm going to start to punch into his face right there. And I like the way that looks. So boom. Perfect. And I'm going to be using my Adobe Premiere preset pack. It's just going to make it a lot easier for me. So if you don't have it, no worries. You could totally do all this without the pack. I just want to add a simple flash. So I'm going to make a couple cuts right here. So we have a simple, check that out. It comes in, it flashes. I'm also going to add, like a flicker on here. I'm going to add a basic flicker and glow. So it's going to be flickering as we zoom in. And I may even add a little bit of light camera shake on here as well. So let's see what that looks like. We flicker in. Boom. That was super easy. That is using our Premiere preset pack. If you want to get that, it's down there in the bio as well. It does save a lot of time, especially like this. Using these together definitely works really well. I really like the camera shake. I think it adds a little bit more. You don't need the camera shake, but... And then what we would probably want to do is add a transition. So let's go ahead and let's grab one of these transitions and let's see what that looks like. Cool. Let's just say we do a freeze frame right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit 4 on the keyboard. So we're going to transition. Boom. So we transition to this clip and then it freezes. So let's go ahead and drag on a texture for the title. What we'll do is we will change that blending mode to add. Add works. This kind of covers up his face a little bit, so we could rotate it around. And we can move it quite a bit as well. We could scale in. It's pretty high quality, so you could do a lot with it. You can see if you like screen or lighten a little bit better. Screen is a little less. I'm going to go with lighten. And then to do a title, we're going to want to grab a title card. So I have black title cards if you want to use the white text or the red text. I kind of like this one. This one's pretty cool. So I guess we couldn't use the red. If we did want to use the red text, we would probably just want to change the hue. Or we could invert this or something like that. But I'm going to stick with the red. I'm going to do white text. So boom. And I have this shake and flash. Like, look how perfectly that goes into transitions in. Boom. And then I would probably obviously not put this right over his face. I would put it down here. And then let's just say I'm going to write Babytron. So I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to come over to alphabet. I'm going to go uppercase. Let's do all uppercase. We'll do white. I'm going to grab B. Boom. We'll scale that down. Grab motion. We'll rotate it. We'll grab A, and then I'm just going to move it 1 frame forward. So I'm going to hold Alt or Option, hit my keyboard, and I moved it right 1 frame. And that looks weird, so we're going to scale that up. We got B again, so I'm going to move that 1 frame, and I'm going to slide that down, rotate it a little bit, and then we're going to go Y. You could even just type it right here if you want to find it faster. Bring up my adjustment layer. And it's kind of a long process, but it is some pretty good results. So, and we got Babytron just like that. So I'm going to drag this out just a little bit longer. And then what we can do is if we want to cut off all the end, we can hit C on our keyboard and then make a cut and hold shift, delete all that. And then what we're going to want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just nest all these. I'm going to name it Babytron just so we know what it says. And now it pops up and it writes Babytron. I can't put it underneath the texture and you can see it makes it look a little bit gritty. I like it on top. I think it looks better. And now we can even animate this. I can even drag on like one of my camera shakes onto it if I want to give it a little bit of movement. Say Babytron just like that. We could put like some objects around. We got like a lean bottle. We could put that. And just like that, we have simple title. Just like that, we have a simple title. Lastly, I'm going to show you the body traces. So we included body traces where you can trace your entire subject, something that you'd normally do if you were doing this by hand, but you don't have to. I'm going to show you how to do it in post, and yeah, it's pretty simple. So let me find another clip here. So let's see. All right, to do a trace, we're going to find right where we want to do the effect. So let's say we want to do it right here. I'm going to hit 4 on the keyboard, drag that out quite a bit, and then we're going to go into outline trace. So we have So we included 3 different types. We have whiteout, red, and scratches. Scratches were in the original, but I went through and I perfected them a little bit more. So each one comes with 2 different curves. They come with 2 different straight lines, and they come with a right angle. I like the whiteout ones because they do a combination of paint and scratch. I did a little bit of both for you. I'm going to use these scratches real quick. It's kind of like the classic look. I'm going to go ahead, and there's the long scratch. And then we're going to find right where it ends, and I'm going to scale this down. We're going to scratch out his body right there. And then I'm probably going to grab one of the shapes. So I'm going to grab this curve right here. I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to flip it. And so you can see it you can see it draws that way. So we are going to have to flip it because I need it to go over that elbow. We're going to flip it. We're going to rotate it. We're going to bring it down. We're going to get it right around his elbow. That looks pretty good. Then we'll duplicate that scratch line. We'll move that one up. We're going to scale it way up. We're going to rotate it. And we're going to see where it ends. And we're going to try and get that to line up with his arm as best as possible. I say that looks pretty good. We'll just duplicate that one again. And we're going to try and get around his hand here. So bear with me. And then, so now you're left with all of these scratches. And what we want to do is we want to get them all to one length. So I'm going to get them all to this ending length. I'm going to hit 4 on my keyboard, pretty much towards the end of each of these. And what that's going to do is that is going to make a frame hold. So we just want the frame to kind of just chill out at the end, just so we can get it all to one length. Now I can select all these and I can drag all these out. I'm going to hit C, I'm going to hit Shift, I'm going to delete all these. And now what we can do is we can select all these, hit 3, hit Nest. I could even name this Babytron Cutout. Boom. So now if we play that through, we have this, and it goes really slow. It looks good, but it's really slow. So what we want to do is just hit R in the keyboard, and we can speed that up. So we can literally get this pretty fast, and we get that type of effect. So obviously what this needs is to go all the way around his body. I will do that, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. But then also what we'd want to do is we want to add our paper texture. So let's go ahead and grab some of that. So if we could put the cutouts on top of the paper texture, and this looks a little too blown out for me. I could color this a little bit, bring down the highlights, add a little bit more contrast, make it look like that. But that's pretty much how you do tracing. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a comment down below, and I hope you enjoy the pack. We definitely put a lot of work into this. We made it all by hand, spent a lot of hours making it. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to see in the future from us. I'm Tyler Casey with Cinepacks. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.